What would you say has been like the main bottleneck in the business?
Qualified leads, I guess.
Client interviews of people explaining how they feel. And the more you run this, the more qualified the lead is going to be. They've come in, they don't know that they need your help.
Yeah.
I would put majority of your focus on middle of funnel. So first, let's just get some clarity on your ICP. So this is exactly your ideal client profile. So who it is exactly that you help.
So say 25 to like 45-year-old people in general, but majority of the clients that do opt in and kind of like inquire for coaching is majority guys, but I do have a few girls as well. I think it's just a little bit more relatable with guys. And it's pretty much people who obviously want to get into shape, but apart from just getting into shape, they also want to kind of transform into the whole hybrid lifestyle, which is getting stronger, looking aesthetic, like almost like a bodybuilder physique sort of thing with abs, definition and everything like that, but also be functional and fit at the same time. So be able to run, be able to do any sort of like hybrid workouts, whether it's like CrossFit, high rocks, anything like that, marathons, you know, like the whole mix of the lot. So they are able to have everything under one roof. So they're not just like doing the same style of training.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So pretty much like they not only want to look good, but feel good, perform good at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, sick. And what's the current situation of most of the people who are coming to you? Like what's their current kind of training or environment look like?
So there's two kind of like specific people that reach out. One, which is the majority, is essentially guys that only have been training one way, which is essentially like kind of like your strength, bodybuilding, hypertrophy kind of training, and want to transition into more the hybrid style of, being functional, adding in fitness, conditioning and stuff like that in their training as well. Or the other side of things is like guys or girls who are pretty conditionally fit already. So they do the hybrid style of training, they run, they do CrossFit, they do high rocks, but they're not overly happy with how they're looking. So they don't have the definition. They feel like they're not as lean. They feel like their physique don't match how they perform.
Yeah, I get that. That's definitely me, bro. Physique. And why do you think that is most of the time? It's like the diet, I guess, or nutrition?
Yeah, the diet, nutrition, structure of how they're actually training. Because if you're just training every single day, doesn't mean you're going to end up looking good. You know, that's just going to be kind of 20-30% of the work. But again, if your diet and everything else outside your training is not structured or it's not on point, then the physique isn't going to match that.
Yeah. Cool. And then what is their desired outcome? So like when they speak to you, what is it that they want to get by the end of your program and would make them like feel better and like worth their time?
The majority of the people that tell me is, yes, obviously the aesthetics is what they want, which is having abs, seeing definition. If it's a guy, seeing definition in their chest, their arms, their back. If it's a girl, obviously seeing a lot more leanness in their arms as well, but more definition in the midsection sort of thing and their back. And also, it's like we talked about, be a lot fitter, be a lot more functional, feel like they can go for walks, go up and down the stairs without just like feeling puffed out. And some of the guys that actually have a fitness goal, they want to like get into their first 10K or half marathon or actually full marathon or their first high rocks or the first CrossFit comp sort of thing.
Yeah, epic, bro. And then what do you feel like is the main obstacle for majority of these people who are reaching out to you? Like what's one reason as to like why they couldn't achieve these things or where they fall off? What would you say that is?
I think it's always mostly about structure and accountability. I think it's everyone's kind of main obstacle there. Again, the guys that are already trained and already kind of have the good physique, but then want to transition into the conditioning side of things, they just don't know how to balance still being strong, still keeping the aesthetic, but then including the fitness in there. Like they don't know how to like structure it within the week.
Yep.
And then again, the other side of things is the guys who are already fit and they probably go running and do classes and stuff like that every single day, but then they don't know how to actually structure their diet to make them look like they actually train or to make them look aesthetic. And I guess nutrition for both sides, for both ends of the spectrum is just, both people don't know how to balance the nutrition so they are fueled enough to be able to still perform well, still lift heavy, still run faster, still get fitter, but at the same time, not overfuel. So then they just like put on body fat. So they want to make sure they're staying lean or getting lean as they improve on their performance as well.
Yep. Yep. And how did you kind of decide on like this ICP? And what made you want to like help this specific category of individuals? Is it due to your past, your own style of training, or what kind of inspired that?
Yeah, pretty much just like my own experience. So I came off bodybuilding for like 6-7 years, and then I started getting into like functional training / CrossFit in the last 4 years, and then recently last year just like more running and then high rocks kind of style of training. So I feel like I've really dabbled into all styles of training.
Yep.
And that's when I just came to realize like you can balance it all and be able to do it all at the same time if, again, you have the right structure and you plan it out properly. So now I'm literally like in my most ideal kind of, physique and fitness, where I'm still getting stronger, I'm still looking lean all year round, and I'm getting fitter like week by week with whether it's with my running, my conditioning, like overall it's kind of like, my transformation is kind of how I just want other people to be like as well, because I feel like it's kind of like the way to go right now as well, especially for like all them people that just train at the gym just to look good. I feel like there's a lot more than just looking good.
Yeah, of course.
If you actually perform well, build your fitness up, the physique side of things, the aesthetic side of things kind of just ties in together, and it just comes as you perform better.
Yeah. Yeah, like who wouldn't want to look good but also be able to perform? And the thing I like the most, because as also being one of your clients, is like if I want to run 10Ks, if I want to do a high rocks, if I even want to push a half marathon, I'm pretty much able to do that at any point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's the coolest part about being fit.
Yeah.
And like while still looking good and eating like what you want.
Yeah, like what I tell my clients, it's one thing knowing that you look good,
Yeah.
but then it's another thing knowing what your body can do whilst looking good as well, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So having that balance is sick.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk a little bit about your offer, what it is exactly you help people with, and how they can kind of work with you and get closer to their dream outcome. So what is your core promise and outcome of your program when someone joins?
Yes, I start my program off as just a 12-week phase, and then obviously they keep going. Most of them stay anyway because they do enjoy the results they get in the 12 weeks. But I guess the outcome is obviously a big change within their physical appearance or their physique, whether it's putting on more muscle, getting leaner, like losing 5-10 kilos or whatever the goal may be, and also feel a lot fitter. Like a lot of the clients that I coach now have never done any sort of running or conditioning sort of thing, but then they come out of the 12-week block being able to run a lot faster, being able to run like their first 5-10 Ks, being able to smash out some of the first few conditioning kind of workouts.
Yep. Perfect, man. And that's exactly what I have achieved from working with you for the last like 8-9 weeks as well. So that's fucking epic. And in terms of your deliverables, like what are the main things you focus on in the program to get them closer to the core promise?
So I have like 3 pillars, which I guess is pretty straightforward, is training, nutrition, accountability. I feel like you can have 1 out of the 3 and you're still going to fail. Like you got to have all 3, because then you can get the training and nutrition out there anywhere, like in the world, right? Like you can just Google shit, like AI sort of thing. If you don't have that accountability, then you're still going to fall off because you don't know if you're doing things right and if you're actually doing it properly and, motivating you to push.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give them those three. So give them like their fully customized programming, depending on their lifestyle and how many days they can commit to training, what sort of style of training they want to do, whether it's just like lifting weights, doing functional classes, functional workouts, nutrition. I teach them the knowledge of calorie tracking and kind of like knowing how much to eat and what to eat, but at the same time, I'll also give them their meal plan to just take the guesswork out of it.
Yep.
And then obviously accountability, I make sure I'm checking in with them once or twice a week, make sure they're doing everything right throughout the week. I have an app that I provide for them that just makes it so simple that they just follow everything on the app. So the training's on there, the meal plans is on there, the accountability aspect is on there. So they got to make sure they're checking in on the app.
Yep. And like they track everything on here, like their weight and everything.
Yeah. Their progress pics, their body weights, measurements for some of them.
Yep.
And yeah, like calories and meals like that.
Yeah, awesome. And you coach them through like one-on-one calls, and you like have a group as well, right? And you share resources.
Yeah. So that's another thing. So I have like a just simple community or WhatsApp group where everyone kind of like shares their wins. I provide them with like extra resources just as a group, just so they get a little bit extra knowledge apart from just everything I teach them individually. It's more just like resources and just extra tool they can use on top of what they get given individually.
Yep. Yeah, cool. I think that community aspect is huge, especially in like the fitness scene, because if other people see, like within your program, if other people see each other progressing, it's gonna like get people hyped to like lock in, and like 100%. Share their wins and everything. Even I think when I shared like my win, and like it was when I was seeing everyone else posting their progress, pics and everything. So it's definitely a key aspect of the program.
Yep.
For sure. And you mentioned it was 12 weeks, right?
Yeah, 12 week initially, and then they can kind of just like keep going through if they wanted to after that.
Keep going after, based on like if they...
Yeah, I guess the 12 weeks is more just teaching them the knowledge and the habits.
Yep.
For like how they should be eating, how they should be training and everything like that. But for majority of the people, I guess 3 months isn't really going to get them to like their
goal.
Big end goal, right? Like if you're coming off from someone like a 20% body fat and you want to get down to like a fucking lean, less than 10% body fat, like realistically, you're probably not going to get there in 3 months or 12 weeks.
Yep.
So then obviously they need a little bit more guidance and stuff post the 12 weeks. So then they just keep going until I guess we eventually get to that end goal.
Yeah. Epic. And how much do you charge?
$2,000 for the 12 weeks.
$2,000 for 12 weeks. And how's that been going for you? Like, is that something you're confident charging, or you want to charge more? You want to charge less? What's the feedback kind of been around that?
Yeah, I feel like it's in a good spot right now. I've recently just upped it to this. Started off at $1,500, and I feel like, I got pretty confident when just selling that. And the more clients I got, the more results I got these clients. I felt like the coaching aspect and the programming is definitely a lot more valuable. So then I slowly increased it to like $1,800, and now, again, but it's literally like a life-changing thing for a lot of people.
Of course,
so
yeah, it's definitely worth.
Pumped it up even more to like $2,000, and the more I build out the business and offer a lot more, I'm definitely keen to kind of like up that a little bit more, just so it gives more value for the clients.
Yeah, for sure. And what's your success rate been like with the people you've been working with? Like, how are they kind of tracking, and are they getting the results that you set out for them?
Everyone's killing it, bro.
Right,
Everyone's getting jacked and shredded. Yeah, literally, not one person's gotten 0 results. Like, they've at least lost
100%, bro.
around like 4 or 5 kilos within the 12 weeks. If their goal is to like lose weight anyway, or for the other people that just want to change their physique or just get fitter, they're definitely seeing changes within their self, like visually, and their performance as well.
Yeah. Bro, that's epic. And can confirm, like, that is the case, because I've definitely gotten the results,
Yeah, bro.
gotten leaner, running better, feeling stronger, got my fastest high rocks time. So, and that was all after starting to work with Jeff. And a couple of my friends who have also been working with Jeff are in the same boat. So definitely check him out if you guys want to transform your whole lifestyle and be a lot fitter and healthier. What would you say has been like the main bottleneck in the business so far, or like something that you definitely want to improve on?
One would be more disqualified leads, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess everyone that kind of reaches out is a qualified lead, right? And I've run ads now, and most of my clients that I book in calls with now is just through the ads, whether they follow me through an ad or they actually just like reach out to me through an ad. So they're kind of like qualified in that sense. But in terms of like more committed and serious leads, I guess. So I get a lot of people just inquiring just because they see the ad and it all sounds pretty good and inviting and everything. But then when it gets to the call and going through the actual programming and everything like that, they don't really seem to like take it seriously, or they're not actually ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess basing off that though, I guess if they did opt in, I guess there's someone who's pretty interested. I just got to get them a little bit more deeper into the coaching to actually make them want to fully sign up, not just like a surface level, hey, oh, that sounds sick, like I'll reach out. I want to show them a little bit more the deeper side of what the coaching thing is before they actually get in the course, so they really understand what they're getting, and that just makes them keen to actually sign up at the end of it.
Yeah, for sure. And how's the kind of lead flow, or I guess from the organic side of things? Like obviously you have a personal brand, you have I think like 8K followers.
Yeah.
You're obviously posting content consistently. So how do you feel like that's helped? Or like do you feel like where's that kind of at?
I think it's everything, to be honest. Like personal brand is still the key thing, because you can run as many ads as you want there, but obviously from the ad they're going to click on your page, and if your page don't match anything that you're just talking about in the ad and they don't see any results, they don't see you teaching anything about what you're selling or the service or the coaching in my case, then they're not going to opt in, or they're not going to reach out to you anymore, right? But I feel like because my personal branding is starting to come a little bit more on point with what I do and what I coach, which is again the whole hybrid sort of lifestyle. So then people would see that, they see the results from my clients, they see all the testimonials and everything like that. So I guess people are like, all right, this guy's like the real deal, and then they opt in.
Yeah, super. And your content's obviously come a long way since we started working together.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is on point. You know, you're hitting all the right pillars. You're starting to introduce a lot more of that nurturing content that we've been speaking about that we're going to get into. So let's move on to content strategy now that we kind of understand your offer and where your ICP lies, but also the kind of issues that they're facing and you're facing yourself. So at a high level, the content strategy that's going to work for your personal brand is split up into top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content, right? And you've also just posted your first YouTube video, so we'll get into that as well. So when you kind of like post content now for your personal brand, what's your kind of approach been, and I guess your intention behind it, and how do you feel like the response has been from people wanting to work with you or people inquiring? Like, are you noticing any specific kind of content's working better for you? Just want to get like your input on that.
Yeah, I try to mix it up between, I guess, lifestyle, so people can still see what you can achieve after you go through the program and live the lifestyle that I'm kind of preaching. Obviously, like value-based or educational-based, of just general of how you should be going about the whole hybrid sort of training, and then obviously your testimonials and stuff. There's social proof as well. That's kind of like my 3 content types, content styles that I just do rotations through.
Yeah, so you're already like, you're putting content out there. It's just about like having a little bit more structure with the type of content. So you're already putting out the right types of content, but it's about being like a lot more intentional with those specific pillars that you're already doing.
Yep.
So I guess that's what we're going to get into. So I guess the first, or like the main type of content that is going to really grow your account and get you those views and like, I guess, audience that you're looking for is top of funnel content, right? So the easiest way to think about top of funnel content is it's content that you're creating not necessarily related to fitness specifically, but content that resonates with your dream follower.
Yep.
So people who have the same values, beliefs, and like, I guess, work ethic as you. So if you think about it, like I'm sure you follow a lot of people that you like kind of look up to, right? Even if you take like George Heaton, for example.
Yep.
So like you fall into his dream follower.
Yeah.
Right? Because, obviously trains, runs a business. So see how all of these things, when he puts that in the content, it gets you attracted to his type of content.
Yep.
Not necessarily particularly to do with the clothes he sells.
Yeah.
But if he goes and like runs a marathon or like, eats steak at a restaurant with the boys.
Yep.
It's the same things that you value.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I want you to think about top of funnel content. It's content that you're putting out that's going to resonate with people who want to be like you, but they might not necessarily want to work with you and like transform their physique, right? But then they want to like essentially aspire to be like Jeff.
Yep.
So that's what is going to generate that traffic. So if you have content that like I'm sure you've seen a lot of content where people who value relationships, you have misses. So if there's content that you create around the things that are true to you and like what kind of value do you portray into the world, that's casting a wide net with content.
Yeah.
Right? So we've already gone through this. I mean, you obviously have a good understanding of your dream follower, but the way I want you to think about it is you probably already have a bunch of content on your feed that you've created. So it's about like going back through your content and seeing what type of content has worked best for you in the past. And an easy way to do that is to download an extension called Sort Feed.
Yep.
So if you download Sort Feed, and then you can literally go views, for example, and it's going to sort like your best performing reels. And then once it's sorted that out, you can actually go through them and identify which one of these reels was top of funnel, middle of funnel, or bottom of funnel. And you'll start to notice that majority of the reels that performed well, most of the time it will be kind of top of funnel style content.
Yep.
Right? So you can actually go through your own feed and see what's worked the best and then recreate the same reels in different formats. Right? So that's the easiest way to start off. So I would say create content for your dream follower, recreate your best performing content using Sort Feed. And also this is the opportunity to like research into competitors or people who are in a similar niche to you using Sort Feed as well and seeing what's working for them.
Yep.
And obviously you can even download their reels and use Scene Detect and replace them with your own clips.
Yeah.
So top of funnel is all about understanding why content is performing well, what are people resonating with, and how can I draw in a large number of people who, let's say if you draw in 100,000 people, there's going to be at least 1,000 people there who are in that ICP that you listed before.
Yep.
And that's the whole concept of creating top of funnel content. So you've already been doing it, but it's like really being intentional with it and creating efficiencies with like your current content, seeing what's performed, seeing what competitors are doing, and really ideating around your dream follower.
Yeah.
So research competitors using Sort Feed, identify accounts with similar values, beliefs, and lifestyle. So it's the easiest way to leverage top of funnel content.
Man.
So that's what I reckon. Just if you literally sit down and like do this and think about these things, you'll start to understand, like those patterns will start to make sense.
Yeah.
And then your middle of funnel content, again, it's nothing different to what you've already been doing. It's content that, you know, you've already been putting out there, but this is where you're making your audience problem and solution aware. So, you know, a lot of the ads that you're running have been middle of funnel content where you're saying like, have you ever, like your training, you've been doing crazy training, but you still don't look the part.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're making them problem,
Yeah.
and then you're giving them the solution.
Yeah.
So that's what middle of funnel is. So middle of funnel is like, most of the time it's going to be fitness content. You're going to be nurturing them through who you are as a person, your story. But do you see how like this content is, not everyone will resonate with it?
Yep.
Because if someone is already jacked and they already look good,
Yeah, they don't care about it.
they don't care about it, right? So it's very specific to your ICP. So problem and solution aware for ICP, targeted to fitness and your ICP wanting to make a change. So also nurturing your audience around who you are and your story. So this is where we do story sequences consistently. Like on our story, we're constantly like nurturing our audience. Like we're telling them, you know, when you first started getting to the start of training, when you first started running. So I would just make a map of top of funnel, middle of funnel, and really like put the pillars that you have of lifestyle, value, and testimonials, and really start to like break them down. In this business model, content is the most important thing, and it's the thing that a lot of people struggle with, right? So I would actually spend maybe like 2-3 hours a day just on content alone, but not on actually creating content, but on like just ideating, not even scripting, but research. So researching and really understanding your market and like seeing what's working for them. Why is it working?
Yeah.
Who is their ICP? Who is their dream follower?
Yeah.
And then how can I recreate the same kind of content for myself?
Yeah.
And then you have bottom of funnel content. So this is all about your sales content. So every time you're putting out content with a CTA on your reels or your stories. So, you know, I think you did one today where you showed like transformations,
Yep.
DM perform. So this is a perfect example. So see how like you're already like doing these things, right? Which we've implemented like since we started working together.
Yeah.
So this is like great bottom of funnel because you're showing them why they need to take the action, and then you're giving them a direct response to take an action, to either DM you, to make a comment, for a resource, right?
Yeah.
So this is where all the trust you're creating and the proof you're creating from your top and middle of funnel content eventually leads to a conversion.
Yeah, man.
So like a content strategy is essentially like, this is all it is, right? It's literally ideating, researching, and then creating content based around your niche, your audience, your ICP, and your dream follower. So they have a better understanding, they're problem and solution aware, they resonate with you. Now, if we execute all these things correctly, the last thing I forgot here was like YouTube. So YouTube is going to be huge, and you've just posted like your first vlog, right?
Yeah.
So this is perfect like bottom of funnel content, because most of your clients, when they like your Instagram content, you know, your top of funnel, your middle of funnel, they want to get to know more about you. They're going to head over to your YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to spend a lot more time there understanding who you are before they even jump on a sales call.
Yeah, right.
Right? And they need to spend, there's a stat that everybody knows, but at least 7 hours watching your content to make an informed decision of whether they want to work with you or not. So that's why we really want to implement YouTube. It makes it so much easier on your DM process when you can send them value before they even decide. So the fact that you've started that now is perfect. And, you know, you uploaded a weekly vlog, you know, you're going to upload the client testimonials that you've already been doing. So client interviews and results, weekly and daily vlogs. So this is perfect. Like your VSL, like all of these things are really going to help you nurture your audience
Yep.
and get them to like you, right? Because essentially that's what a personal brand is about. There's so many fitness offers, there's so many people, but a combination of these three, from an organic perspective, will really give you that leverage that you're looking for from a content perspective, and be like, okay, this is Jeff, this is why I want to work with him, and this is his kind of like vibe.
Yep.
And the easiest way to identify if the content that you're putting out is resonating with your audience is when you actually officially close them, and like let's say you have 20 clients, and when you go and like look at your group call or like your community, you'll start to notice that a lot of your community will be people like you.
Yeah.
Like even just take like me and Jeet, like we're pretty similar, right?
Yep.
And then when you create the content that we resonate with, when you have 20 people like me and Jeet, you'll start to notice that like your community has the same values and beliefs.
Yeah.
Like they might all be into like represent. They might all be into like, training the way that you're training because you've shown that in your content.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're showing like designer clothes and like, not really training, like that's going to be your community.
Yep,
So it's the easiest way to kind of see that. But yeah, I think you've already started to implement a lot of the things that we've been working on together. And I think the best strategy for you is to just be a little bit more clear on why you're putting out the content.
Yep.
And then you can kind of solve for the problem that you're facing. So if your problem is purely to do with traffic and I guess not having enough followers or leads coming through, you should be focusing a lot more of your content on like the top of funnel side of things.
Yep.
If you feel like it's a trust issue or like the audience feels like they've come in but they don't know that they need your help, I would put majority of your focus on middle of funnel.
Yep.
So I would say audience not aware of solution, lead flow issue. And then if you feel like not enough sales, this is what you need to be focusing on. So we always build a content strategy around the problem that we're trying to solve for. You need to be doing all these things, but the percentage at which you separate these on a weekly basis really depends on the problem. So if you feel like you're not getting any followers, and this is purely from an organic perspective, this coupled with ads like that you're already doing is going to give you like the ultimate results, right?
100%. Yep.
So if you're having a sales issue, I would focus like majority of your attention on bottom of funnel, and it's always a phase. It's always like a phase thing. So in this month, you might be, I need to do a lot more top of funnel. Whereas in January, you might say, hey, I actually got a lot of like lead flow coming in, but these guys aren't closing. Like, what's the issue?
Right.
Let's focus a little bit more on bottom of funnel.
Yep.
So that's what I would recommend, man. And for your next steps, I would say mainly for you is to just be more intentional with the content you're putting out. Understand what the content is trying to solve for your business. And I think the main like kind of bottleneck that you mentioned here was qualified leads, not enough serious leads, and just inquiring from the ad, right?
Yeah.
So qualified leads, that would mean you need a little bit more middle of funnel content.
Yep.
Like even in your ads.
Right.
Like I would say middle of funnel and like also bottom of funnel is like majority of your focus. So when they watch it, they really understand like the pain point, how they can solve, they can kind of see, your client interviews of people explaining how they feel. And the more you run this, the more qualified the lead is going to be.
Yep.
Whereas like if they are coming purely from more of a top of funnel perspective or a little bit more higher up, they're not going to be as qualified because they're mostly coming because, like it just looks sick or like it's more of a high level thing. So I would say test this out. More middle of funnel and bottom of funnel, more YouTube to nurture. To nurture leads coming in. because you've got the offer, you've got the results. You obviously know what you're doing. Your personal brand is already dialed like the way it looks. So I feel like just putting a little bit more emphasis on different phases of the funnel can really help like you convert more essentially.
Yeah, Matt, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I would recommend. What do you like? What is your perspective on that? Do you have any questions? How's it going for you so far, and what are you kind of going to be working on going forward?
No, I think we pretty much covered it just then. I'm getting the lead flow now and stuff like that through, I guess, just organic content, the top of funnel and the ads and everything like that. But yeah, like what you said, just getting the more qualified leads would be kind of improving my messaging through the ads and that middle funnel content sort of thing.
Yep.
So people actually understand that they need this sort of coaching if they're that type of ICP.
Yeah.
And then, just like more trust with those style of content for the bottom of funnel.
Yeah.
So YouTube and, these client interviews and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And where this is going to come in really handy for you is like when you're doing your appointment setting, like when you're in the DMs.
Yep.
Like if you can understand where, like really what their pain point is, like before you book a call with them, and then share with them content based on like where they're at in their journey. Yep. So if you feel like they're not problem or solution aware, literally share them a piece of content that you've already posted or like a client interview and be like, watch this through, and then like they'll feel a lot more like comfortable, like feel a lot more problem aware.
Right.
And then when you book the call and then you send them, your another 2, 3 or 1 or 2 YouTube videos where you explain like this client was in the same situation as you and like this is the result he got and this is his story.
Yeah, true.
When you get on the call, it's going to be like so much of an easier close for you because they're way more problem and like solution aware. So yeah, that's what I recommend, man. We're going to keep running it through, and then I guess we'll do another breakdown when you've implemented what we've spoken about. But you're already like killing it, bro. Like this week, right? Like you had a few sales this week.
Pretty solid week. Yeah. Saturday.
So
sick.
We're crushing, and we're just gonna keep scaling Jeff up from here. Keep dialing in his personal brand, and I'm keen to see how he goes over the next 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Shoot, sweet.
You can go, lad.
Yeah, let's go.